This is a shipbuilding guide for Starfield. I'm going to show you to modify a ship, how to get a new ship, how to like buy and sell ships, etc., all that kind of stuff, everything you need to know. So the main thing here is you got to find a ship services guy. You can actually make your own modification station on an outpost eventually, but that's something you can deal with later. For most of it, you're just going to want to go to some ship services. Now, this is the most basic one in the game. This is on Jemison in the Alpha Centauri system, so in the main section of this, the New Atlantis area, whatever, there's this guy right here by the ship. And you just go up to him and talk to him, and he'll have options for modifying the ship. He'll also have ships for sale. Now, when you go to modify a ship, keep in mind the parts that are available depend on who you're talking to. So if I go to a different star system with a different ship guy, then he'll have different parts. And depending on what nation he's from or whatever, there's different things. Like if I go to the pirate place, they're going to have the ecliptic parts, for example. So that's the thing to keep in mind when doing this. You're going to have to explore to find different parts that you like and stronger things and stuff like that. Now, once you're in here, we have an upgrade ship button, which will let you just like upgrade the pieces you already have with other random stuff. And then there's also the ship builder, which is more likely what you're looking at this video for. And I'm going to show you how to do all the shipbuilding. But first, you need a ship. So you can't make one from scratch as far as I'm aware. At least I haven't figured out a way to do it from scratch. So you got to, well, you can, but you need a ship. You have to already have a ship. So either you buy a ship from this guy from that other menu we had, or you go steal a ship and bring it in and register it. And then you can go in and modify it and delete everything and make a new ship. Now, I'm going to show you the shipbuilder works. The controls are going to be different for Xbox. Keep that in mind. But at the bottom right, it'll show you what all the buttons are, for most of them at least. So the main thing is turning like this, I assume is a thumbstick on Xbox. I'm not sure. Obviously on mouse keyboards, hold right click and then you can turn around. Down the bottom it says pan. On default on mouse keyboard is holding in the middle mouse wheel, and then zooming in and out on keyboard or mouse and keyboard is the scroll wheel. Obviously I don't know what that is on Xbox. I really don't know. R1 and something, I don't know. Maybe the R buttons, but anyway, so those are the basic buttons. There's also an options down here, which is really important. You hold that and you have an undo redo button, which you might end up using a lot actually when building a ship, especially from scratch. And there's a flight check button down here, and it'll show you if there's any things like, oh no, you don't have an engine or something like that, right? And then you can't actually fly the thing unless everything's good in here. There'll be warning ones which are not required to address, and then the red ones you have to fix or it can't fly. And then there's a weapons tab up here, and that's how you assign weapons to groups, which is one of the error messages you'll get when you put weapons on, is they've got to be assigned to groups. And those groups are these ones over here, the different things that you power up on the left, W1, W2, W0. Anyway, that's all that stuff. So let's go ahead and build one from scratch. But before we do that, let's take a look at how the controls work here with the parts. So if you click a part, I don't know what it's, probably A on Xbox, then it'll select it. Then you can do things down at the bottom right. You can see J is change color, whatever that would be on Xbox. And you can change the color of a piece, make it ridiculous or something, right? And then accept, whatever accept is down here, depending on what you're on. And then you can also click it, change color, and change it back to default. And when you click it, you can also put the same button you press to select it. You hold it, which is left click on mouse and keyboard, and you hold that and then move, and it'll pull it off. And then from here, you can't rotate everything. Some pieces can, but most pieces that can, all they can do is flip. So you'll see this one, it has a flip option. So if I'm holding it and moving it like this down at the bottom right, I can't show you, but down there it's flip. And you can flip it and then put it on the other side for some pieces. Some pieces can't be flipped, so keep that in mind. Also, when you select a piece, you can press whatever it says down there. It says delete. Delete is delete on keyboard, and I don't know what is on Xbox, but whatever it tells you, you can delete things. And that's how you look the basics of putting things on. Everything's like Legos. You notice those little spots? That's where things attach like that. So you see, like, it sticks on. So anything I pull off has something that it was attaching to like that. So everything's got to attach to a slot like that, or else it won't work. So keep that in mind when building the ship. All right, so now let's start from scratch, and then I'll show you how to add things and everything as well. So there's a button down here called Add. And in here, it'll have all the things that you need for a ship. The only things that are optional are structural. Everything else you'll need. Now, one of the first things I would start with is either the landing bay or the cockpit. Now, landing bay might be your first bet here, because some of them can't be flipped. So when I select it, there's no flip button for this one. But then if I go to this other one, I can put it in, and then when I'm holding it, there's a flip button. And you'll want to do this right away, because I don't know why, but sometimes when you get later on in shipbuilding, you'll pull out this thing, and it won't let you flip it anymore. And I don't know why. So you want to flip it right away if you want it to face the same way, or else it's going to get really, really weird later on. Then after that, let's get a cockpit, and we'll just select this one, let's say. And we'll just throw it down wherever for now. We just want to make sure these things are lined up the way that we want. We don't want this facing, you know, the wrong way. Okay. Once we have that, all right, we're good to go. Now we need to start building the ship. So I'm going to pull these things apart for now. Let's build some giant, massive ship just for the hell of it. So we're going to go to add, and the next thing that you're going to probably want is going to be the habs. So this is the areas you actually walk through. Now these different ones, there's the bottom has arrow keys on keyboard, whatever it is on Xbox. Press those and it'll go through the variants. And you'll see here there's captain's quarters, computer core, control station, infirmary, living quarters, science lab, workshop. This one here has engineering bay. So if you want those special things like the cooking station, the research lab, whatever, you got to make sure that you select the correct ones of these pieces as you're putting them in then. All right, so let's just build something enormous. Let's build a living quarters. And let's attach that to the cockpit. All right, so now let's take that and let's add on, we'll add on a little 1x1 station like this. And then we will attach it right here. Or actually, we'll put it in the middle. Let's put it in the middle there. And then we're going to take another one of these, put it in the middle, take another one of those, put it in the middle, take another one of those, put it in the middle. Okay, so we got like this. Also, I don't know if I explained this already. I thought I did, but I think I might have forgotten to. If we want to move things on a different layer, hold them, and on the right, there's these buttons. There's R and F by default on keyboard, whatever it says on Xbox. Those will bring you up or down. That's how you know, get these different heights. Okay. Anyway, so make sure you knew that. Let's go ahead and put that back on, though. So, we'll put those like that. And then, we'll go back into here. And we'll add in some... I don't know. We'll just make this really weird. Let's go ahead and put in an engineering bay A. Put it over there. And we'll put in an engineering bay B. Put it in over there. Now, you might think this is crazy. Man, I've stolen some ships from the NPCs. And man, those NPCs sometimes have some god-awful rat's nest ships that you have to go through. And it's horrible. So, this is actually not totally unreasonable to see. Keeping on one layer actually will make it way easier to navigate the ship. So, you know, for ease of navigation, you may actually want something like this. All right, so let's take one more of these things. Living quarters. I already did living quarters, but whatever. We'll make the living quarters even bigger. And then we'll take that, and then we'll take this, and we'll use those buttons on the right again. So F to go down, and we'll attach this down at the very back like that. Okay. Now we have the basic frame of the ship. So now let's go ahead and add something else. So the next thing that I'm going to add, I think another thing that's important to add, is going to be the, not dockers, I got the names mixed up. It is the, hold on, where is it? Structural, no, habs, grav drives, gear. That was it, gear. Landing gear is gear. Okay, we need a landing gear. All right, so we're going to take landing gear, and we're going to just try to make it symmetrical. So we'll... Hold on. Sorry, hitting the wrong button. My hand was in the wrong space. Wrong place. All right, so we're going to attach these there and there, like that. And then we're going to grab two more of them. These ones we're going to hold, press the flip button at the bottom right, which is Z on keyboard by default. And then we're going to add one more. We're going to have to move it up because the angle's weird, but there we go. All right, and make sure those are all at the same height and they're all below the rest of the ship. All right, so now we got the basic parts of a ship. If we wanted, we could add some things to attach in the center. Maybe we will later on because this kind of looks ridiculous, but who really cares? Just teaching you guys how to do it. All right, so now we need to start adding on the actual pieces. So probably the next thing you're going to want to think about is the reactor. This will determine how much power you get. Now, this is where we may want to talk about class because this is an error you'll run into later if you don't deal with it now. On the left, it'll tell you the stats for these different parts, and it'll have a class. And if you don't have good piloting skill, then the only thing you can use is class A. And if you use a class B or C part when you don't have piloting skill for that, then you won't be able to, you know, actually build the ship. So make sure you're aware of that and keep the classes appropriate for your pilot level, or else you're just wasting your time. Also on this one, there's power generated, and that's probably the biggest thing we want. I mean, repair rate matters too. But you can only have one reactor, so I generally try to get the most amount of power possible out of a generator. And that's where having starship design as a skill would be really nice. It's a higher level skill. I think it was under tech or something. And there's some better ones you can get. This is also where shopping around would be really nice. And in my case, I have the max piloting skill. So I can put on a Class C part. So I'm going to put on this super reactor, which is going to be really good. So for this thing, we're going to have to find somewhere to put it. I don't really have anywhere super good to put it just yet. We will just stick it on... I wonder if we can put it on the underside. It might make this thing too low. So we'll just stick it on right here in the middle for now, and we'll call it a day. All right, so now we have our reactor. All right, cool. Now we have a lot of power. Now we can start doing things. So now we can look at shields. We can see different things about them, what their regen rate is, what their max power is. You can see at the top left, it'll show the shield, and it's those bars, what the max amount of power you can put into it is. 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's the blue ones. So I can put in that many with this one if I want to boost my shield. So I'm going to go ahead and put in this crazy piece, right? Let's put this in. I have a C-class ship, so I can put in this crazy one. Now, if you don't have good piloting, you won't be able to do that. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and stick that right on top of the generator for now. Maybe I'll change the position later, but whatever. Let's just get it attached. And also, this is a good moment to stop and think about this. You can hit the flight check and see what's missing. So we need a docker. We don't have engines. We don't have a grav drive. The ship contains modules that exceed the reactor's class. So that's something where you want to look and think about this. So I have a Class A reactor here because it got changed on me. I didn't even notice. I must have hit some button or something and changed it. So let's go back to reactor, and we instead will grab that one I was going to grab, which was this one. Okay. Now this one we can put on right here, and it's going to be obnoxious and gigantic. I don't think there's any way to flip it right now, but okay. There we go. Let's put that on there. It's enormous, whatever. Put that on top of it. Cool. All right, we got that set up. All right, so we fixed that problem. That's why it's important to do the flight check. Make sure you're not missing something obvious as you go. All right, ship is too heavy to grav jump. Reduce mass or increase grav jump thrust. Needs a fuel tank. Needs grav drive, all that stuff. So let's start adding on these other pieces. All right, so now we have the shield. We have the reactor. We'll do weapons last. Let's do cargo bay. Let's see what we got for cargo bays. So we would need Starship design to put on better cargo bays. Oh my god, one has 1,200 cargo. That's crazy. Anyway, we'll go on here. We'll just select this. I don't really just want to go off of mass to cargo ratio, I guess. But they might all come up to the exact same ratio. So it might just be cosmetic more than anything. Let's just stick this cargo bay on right here. We'll have to move this down. Oh, it doesn't want to stick on there. Okay, in that case, I guess it wants to go on the side. It might not have an attachment point on the bottom. I don't know if there's any way to look at the underneath side of it, though. So it might only have an attachment side on one side like that. So in that case, for the sake of symmetry, let's grab 2 of these, and we'll attach them like that. For now. Okay, we can change that later. We might even stick them on right there. Sure, why not? All right, so that's the cargo base. Now let's add in... Let's see, we already looked at weapons, so we'll get to weapons in a moment. We already have Habs. So now we need a grav drive and we need fuel tank. So let's pick a grav drive. We can only have one. So I'm going to go with one that has the highest grav jump thrust on the left. Since I can use C-grade stuff, I'm just going to put on the best one this place has available, which is either this one or this one. I'll just go ahead and put this one on. This one's a little bit better. We'll take this, and then I'll throw it over here for now, rotate the camera, grab it again, and then move it up, and then attach it right there. There's the grav drive. All right, so now we can go to the fuel tanks. So the fuel tanks are really important. If you have a lot of fuel tanks, it'll let you teleport, really far across the galaxy at once instead of having to go to a system that's closer and then go to another one. You slowly get there after like tons of teleportation cutscenes. You can skip all that with fuel tanks. That's why I love to have good fuel tanks. So I'm just going to take this one down here, this really big one, and I'm going to attach it on the side right here. And then I'm also, just for the sake of symmetry, I'm going to go to the fuel tanks. And I guess I can't put it... Okay, I don't know what was happening there. All right, so grab another one. We're going to press the button down at the bottom right to flip it. Put it on in the same place symmetrically. And now we have fuel tanks. All right, let's check the flight check. We don't have engines. We don't have a docker. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at that stuff. So we need to go to the engines. Let's decide on an engine. So we actually can have more than one engine, I think, if I remember this right. So let's go with... why not just go for the one at the bottom? Or maybe this one. This one's more expensive, actually. We're going to look at max power. It's 3. Okay, it doesn't really matter too much in this. Let's just grab this one. It's the most expensive, so why not? Let's grab it. I'm going to stick it there for now. I'm going to put them on right here. I'm going to make it symmetrical. I'm going to stick one there and one right there. All right, so now we have to put on the Docker. Now, this is where we might run into an issue. We'll see what our options are. Docker is a really strange thing to use. So the Dockers will let you board space stations and board other ships. So we're just going to go with a very basic looking one like this. Now, it needs to be on an edge or something like that. I don't think this will work. Let's see what it says. It needs to be on an outside edge of the ship, and it needs to have an interior connection. So that one doesn't work. And then this won't work either because it's not the highest point on the ship. This stuff right here is higher than it. So if I go in here, it needs to be on an outside edge. Now, in theory, if I remove this and move it back to here and take that and attach it right there, maybe it'll work. It still might not work. Oh, it does work. So it has to be the highest thing, like that. And even though this is visually higher, it's actually not high enough to block it now. So now this would actually work. Now we have a docking bay. But now this kind of looks ridiculous. So another option we can do here is we can go to the halves, and we can grab a little 1x1 piece. I have no idea where it just threw that piece. Oh, it's underneath. All right, so we're going to take that, move it up above, and then spin the camera, and then grab it again, and move it down. All right, so what we can do is put this right in front, behind, like right behind the cockpit, and then attach this to that, and that might bring it up high enough, maybe, that I'll be able to put this back up here, and put this back on it, and let's see if it's good. All right, it's good. So now you'd have to climb a ladder right there in order to get into that. But then you're good to go, and you'll be able to, you know, board that and have it be there and not have that on the back, which both these things kind of look ridiculous, though. So now we get into the last little design touches here. So at this point, it's almost ready, but we need to do the weapons, and we need to do final designs on it. So let's go to here. Let's go to the weapons. And we'll just pick some basic, you know, MW pulse laser. Sure, why not? With this stuff, we really want to look at max power 3 and all this stuff and how much damage it does. You're really going to want to learn those things. I may actually want to go with the C-class one. Let's see what we got for the C-class. I might as well put C-class on with this thing. So you got to be careful on this. There's automated things like laser turrets and stuff where you don't fire manually. And then there's missile launchers, and then there's things that you fire manually. So a turret, you won't fire manually. Anything that says auto, you won't. So keep that in mind. That'll change how to use it. I've never really learned how to make the auto ones fire. I looked up the key bindings, and there's nothing for it, and sometimes they fire and sometimes they don't. And I never learned the ins and outs of what the hell makes them fire or not. But let's go with something where I control it. So we'll go with this alpha beam. All right, so we'll take an alpha beam, and we don't really have a lot of attachment slots right now, so we may have to add some stuff. But let's go ahead and put on an alpha beam. Oh, I'm way up there. Alpha beam right there. And while I'm at it, let's take this thing and see, is there anywhere else I can put stuff? Looks like no, I can't. So we need to find other things that we can attach these to. And this is where structural finally comes into play. So you actually, if you want a lot of weapons, you will need a little bit of structural stuff. So just for example here, just to show you, I could take this piece and I could attach this on. Oops, I accidentally went the wrong thing. I can attach this on, say, right here, just to show you. And now I could take this weapon, and I have a bunch of attachment points over here on this structure. So that's important to know for putting weapons on, that you'll need these types of things from the structural stuff. So because of that, before we do the last weapons, let me show you how to assign the weapon, and then we'll do the structure, and then we'll do the final weapon. So flight check, weapons must be assigned to a group. That's up here, whatever button this is. That'll take it here. We have group W0. We can assign it to that. And now we have over here on the top left, you can see that I have that assigned. Okay, so now we have that over there. And then ideally we put on the other ones, but at this point, we're ready to go. We could actually take this ship right now and be done. We could fly. It only has one weapon, but hey, we could do it. You also see at the bottom all the stuff, my jump range, max crew, cargo, shield, hull. My weapon is 38 up there, all this stuff. You can see all that down there. And it changes as we add stuff. So as we add structure and stuff, it will change all that. So let's go ahead and look through structure now. So in order to do this, I'm probably going to take it, move over here with it, and then start looking at them so I can actually see them. So let's go ahead and take some of these different spines. And let's see if any of these spines fit on anywhere that makes sense. So The spines are very small, actually. Let's see if there's anything bigger that we can work with. So if we scroll through here, we have all these different parts. It looks like there's nothing really super big, so we probably... I mean, this is pretty big. But something like this, maybe, it could be attached like this. It's really up to you how you want it to look. But we could take that, and then we could take something like this. And let's get it over here for a sec. Let's get another hab. And we'll take this hab just for now. Attach that there, attach that to that. And now we can you can start to see shape here of how we can shape this. At the cost of making it extremely, you know, making it heavier than it needs to be. But we can make it look cool, and we put more weapons on then. All right, let's go to structural, and then scroll back down. And then it was, I think, I already lost track of it to try to find it again. All right, here was one. Take this, flip it, and then put it there. And then we needed this other one, which I can't even remember which one it was now, because there's so many of these stupid things. Is it this one? It is, but this thing's in the way. Oh, not that. That thing's in the way. Grab that, put it on. And then we could take another hab and put it there. Why not? Even though it might mess up the insides. So you can see how things start to take shape. Now, I could add more on to make the ship look more like an actual ship and not some abomination. But whatever. You know what? Let's call it here because, you know, you know how to do this now. So let's finish off the weapons and then we're good to go. This thing's unbelievably expensive, by the way. I don't know if I actually want to pay this much for this ship. I'd rather just steal one. But anyway, we're going to go in here and go to the weapons again. So now let's grab a missile. So let's go down to stuff down here. Let's see. There's got to be a missile launcher. Missile launcher. All right, take the missile launcher. We'll just put everything up here. So we'll put the missile launcher there. And then we'll go to the flight check. We'll go to the weapons. We'll go to the missile launcher. Now it's over there. Also, we notice there's a new error now in here. Ship has too few landing gear. So because of all that weight I added, I probably need more landing gears now. So let's take another one of these. Flip it. Okay, that was not even the piece I thought. We're mix and matching. This thing's horrible now. But whatever. Put it on like that. Now we have enough. But we have low mobility. Reduce mass or add engines to improve mobility. All right. Well, we could add another engine. So let's add another engine. Let's just keep going crazier and crazier here. Oh, I didn't even mean to do that. Whatever. Okay. That is not what I wanted. There's some like sub-menuing here that somehow I end up doing and I don't even mean to do. All right. We'll attach that on the end right there. All right. Do we have that problem? No, we don't. We're good now. So you gotta be careful with how you do this because it can get, you know, totally ridiculous. Not just in that, but even in price too. All right, so we'll go to weapons now, and now we just need we'll just get one more thing. So we have missile launchers. We'll put on a laser. So take this laser. We'll put it here if I can. Oh my god, I have to move it up. Oh, it didn't attach correctly. There we go. All right, and now we have a laser. Let's go to flight check, and then we'll make this last one be the laser. All right, now we got all the different things attached, stuff like that. If we wanted to, we could go to the weapons, and we could take another missile launcher, and we could put it on, although it's not... Oh, okay. I don't think we can have the same one twice, actually. No, maybe we can. I don't know if that was bugged. Okay, there we go. So we put on two, and now we can put even more power into it because we have two. I would put another one on, but I literally wouldn't be able to buy this then. So we could put, I was going to put another one of these on and then have it be symmetrical, but I'm out of money. So keep that in mind. It's expensive as hell. If you need money, then check out my money farm videos in the description of this video. And this needs to be changed right here, maybe. This whole thing, it's not. This is a pretty ugly thing, but, you know, I'm not going to sit here for, you know, an hour straight fiddling with it to get it all perfect looking and redoing things, but you can in your game. This is how you do it. So hopefully now you understand how to do it. So we do the flight check. Let's look. Everything's good. We are all good to go. We could even rename the ship if we want to. I'm going to rename it, actually. And we're going to rename this thing to... oh, wait. It's not letting me type. There we go. I have to click rename first. Abomination. And then confirm. And then exit. All right. And then we hit exit when we're done. And it'll say, you know, accept or cancel. Cancel will undo everything you just did. Accept will spend the money at the top right. Now I have no money. And now I have the ship. Also, I don't know if I set that to my home ship. I need to make sure it's set to my home ship or else that's not going to be the one I'm flying. So we need to go through these ships, and then down here there's a button for make home ship. Now it's my main ship. All right, now we can back out. And there it is. Damn, that thing is enormous. If I had more money, I could make one that's even bigger, which would be totally insane. So that's it. Let's go ahead and check out what the inside look turned out like. I don't know if there's any way to preview the inside before you actually make it, which is kind of rough. If there is, hopefully someone can tell me in the comments, because I looked and looked and looked and tried every button, and there was no way to look unless you just actually pay for it and make it, and then just know how it connects. All right, so we got this. Where's the thing that goes up? Okay, we're in the next part here. All right, and then here's the ladder. This goes up to where the boarding stuff is. I thought it did. Okay, I'm very confused now. This is just like when I board random ships. This is how confusing it is. Maybe this is it. We just aren't docked to anything, but I think that would be it right above our heads right there. And then it would come up. And okay, these things... So this did not work like how I thought it did at all. This is not quite how I thought the ship design was going to work. We have to go up and then down in order to get to these areas instead of just walking over to them. And that's because of the way the ports were designed on those different pieces like this. So you gotta be careful of that. Oh, and this ladder, look how bad this is. Oh, that's so just wrong. It just feels wrong. Oh, here's the docking bay thing. Okay. So this is where the docking bay was. What does it say? All right, well, there's that. This thing's an abomination for sure. The name is correct. All right, now we got the cockpit. And there it is. We can go in there. We could drive this thing. And I forgot something that's important to know that other people might not have told you about. So you notice how that was weird, and I've redone it since, so this is gonna look different than what we just saw. You know how when we go into the let me go to shipbuilder. When we go into this part right here, we can't walk sideways into these rooms to get back in here. We have to go up and then around and down, which is insane, right? Well, I was playing with this for a while now to try to see, like, is there a way to manipulate it? And I'm not 100. There might be a way to manipulate it, but I'm not sure exactly how. All I know here from testing is there are an insane amount of unsaid rules with how these things get connected. So if I pull these... Oh, those are attached somehow. Okay. If I pull these off and delete them, then... Okay, now the game will make me walk through there in order to get to there, because there would be no other way. But if I put these on, it doesn't matter if I put these on first, if I put these on second, it doesn't matter what order I put them on. It doesn't matter if they are a different type. So like Deimos versus Nova, doesn't matter if you change it. I tried changing it, it doesn't matter. It's just there's weird rules where if certain rooms are in certain places, the connect ways will only connect in certain ways. It's really crazy, but that's just what it does. So you have to keep that in mind when building. So for this ship, I actually would not want these at all, because then it's just so annoying to have to go to those side rooms when I go up and down the ladders. So instead I have to find structural things to try to make it look how I want and then have less habitation space. And the only way to really know is to just blow through your credits and just try things out and be like, what if I connect it this way? And then be done, and then go run over to your ship and then get inside of it and then see and keep on repeating that until you figure it out. Because unless someone knows of a way, I don't know of any options in here for actually just running in through this and like checking it, double checking and like testing it. I don't know of any way to do that. We can kind of actually come in like this, but I don't know that this is correct. This does not seem correct at all. Let me look like this. Yeah, this is literally not what's going to be on the inside at all. So this is like a theoretical. So you can't even by doing that, you can't see what's on the inside. So the only way is to spend money, run over to it, go run inside, look, see if it's right. If it's not, go out, change things, and it's horrible. It's probably the worst part of the shipbuilder. Something about that, they just dropped the ball in that part of the system, unfortunately. But other than that, I think I got everything covered. So I hope this helped you out, guys. I know it's a long one, but I tried to cover everything. Hopefully now you have a better idea of how shipbuilding works, how modifying ships works, everything like that. Also, when you're done, you can sell ships as well by going to here and say what ships you have for sale. And then you could sell a ship or buy a ship or whatever. That's where selling and buying goes. So hopefully helped you guys. Hopefully this guide was able to do this for you, make it make sense to you. It's a complicated system, but hopefully now you know how the shipbuilding works in Starfield.